Shalom. I've been on a spiritual high, if you please, for the last few days. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that our biblical feast days are once again up on us. And earlier I was reminded about the 10th day of the month of Abib and how this 10th day of Abib holds significance, great significance to us as the house of Yisrael, especially during the times when we are waking up to the truth of who we are and waking up to the truth of whose we are. The 10th day of Abib. Something happens on that day that we are supposed to remember throughout all of our generations. And it is interesting to me how certain things in the Bible, in their origin, may seem to us to be of small importance, or it'll seem to us to be that which is like sort of just fly over, like what is that all about? And I was reminded about today. Tola Rabazi is back in town. She got here in time for the Passover. Always good to see her. And Tola Rabah for Yahrahn and all the others, jazz and singing, all the administrators, and all of you who have been following us for this whole year. We find ourselves back around again. And of course, for sure, Yethro and all of the congregation, we find ourselves again coming to this time where we celebrate together one of the greatest feasts in the entire world. It's for sure one of the greatest feasts for us, and it's called the Feast of the Passover. I'll be dealing with that a little bit more this week, but for now, I want to look at something that relates to this empire. You already saw the thumbnail. By the way, here I go again. If you can see the Moreh, okay. I'm not saying you can see me perfect, but if you can see me just okay, and if you can hear me just okay, would you be so kind as to place a 12 in the chat would represent the 12 tribes of Israel? Let me look. Oh, yes. I see the 12s, and I see them 12s rolling. Shalom, 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 and Toda Rabbah for those 12s. When I got back and made it safely back to California, I immediately began to think about the messages leading up to this week and what Abba Yah's doing. And of course, I needed to try to catch up on what was going on in this world, because obviously when I'm traveling, I'm kind of focused. I don't really spend a whole lot of time in the news and all that. So I was trying to catch up on what was going on in the world, current events and all this kind of stuff. And one of the, not just one, but several issues are facing the world today that these heathens don't have a clue about why. And of course, if you've been paying attention, without me going into great detail, as I mentioned in several videos before, I said that that the wars and the rumors of wars are not de-escalating, they are escalating. It's increasing. I've already warned these heathens. I told them, y'all have no idea why you are being drug into this conflict. You think you're going for one reason, you're going for another reason. I done told them that already. Put it on record that this look mighty close to what Joel told us, and what we find in scripture concerning the valley of decision and concerning the time when Abayah is going to avenge us for what the heathens have done to us. It's written in scripture that he would redeem his own, that he would wake up his remnant, and the remnant would be just that. It would be a remnant. Matter of fact, when you read about the remnant in Isaiah, I believe chapter 1 says a very small remnant. Whoo, y'all help the brother. Help me out. Right in the chat, a very small remnant. Please, let me just look. See if anybody other than me have read that. A very small remnant. Yes. Put it in the chat. Let me see if anybody. Oh, yes. Toda Rabbah. I see it. A very small remnant. In the last days, that is exactly what Abayah said he was going to do. He was going to wake up a very small remnant, gather a very small remnant, save a very small remnant, rescue a very small remnant. And of course, it's happening now. Part of what's going on in the world is Abayah avenging his people. Matter of fact, the majority of it is. And fear, so I'm going in this thing. Fear is everywhere now. Everybody's afraid of everything because nobody knows what's getting ready to happen. So fear is some kind of way, has made its way into the hearts and the mind of the most powerful nations on earth. Fear. Let your mind deal with that for a moment. You have the strongest military might on earth. Nobody can make war with the beast, and you're still afraid. You have all the economic power in the world. Nobody has more power and influence with money than you do, and you're still afraid. You have laid claim to all of the land. You have colonized, you colonizers. You colonize the entire world. You have taken ownership over lands that you ought not, and you have taken ownership over people that you ought not, and yet you're still afraid. You set up all the laws of the land, supposedly, unless there's somebody else setting up your laws. We could talk about that too one day. You set up the court system and you're afraid. You select your presidents and you still afraid. You vote in your House of Representatives. You vote in your Senate. You vote in your governors. You so-called vote in your city elections, school board, education board, police chief, and you operate in fear. You running all the businesses. all the imports and exports, and yet fear. That's why one reason we know that ain't got nothing to do with us, Zion. Why? Because the Bible said we'll be powerless against our enemies. Why? Because Abba know if we were powerful against our enemies, it wouldn't be fear nowhere. Let me get out to the room. I don't know if y'all understand where I'm going with this. I said, if we had all the money, all the power, all the land, if we had all the gold, if we had all the silver, if we had all the legislation, if we had all of the presidents, if we had all of the judges, all of the state, all of the Senate, all of the House, if we had it all, I'm talking about us, boy, we wouldn't be afraid of nothing. Our hearts wouldn't be failing us for fear. We broke and ain't scared of nothing. We powerless. And look, some of us like the Moreh, boy, it take a whole lot. But this beast is afraid. And my question is, what is it afraid of? And I found it in the feast day. Y'all want to see it? You want to see it? Go to Exodus. Moreh, where are we going? Go to Exodus chapter 12. Come on, go with the Moreh. Exodus chapter 12. If you have it, be so kind as to place it in the chat. Just type in Exodus chapter 12. We want everybody to know where we are. Put Exodus 12 in the chat. Toda Rabbah for them Exodus chapter 12 showing up in the chat. What does that mean, Moreh? Somebody reading the Bible. Somebody that opened up passages, and we're getting ready to hear what Abba Yah wants to say to the assembly. Listen. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses and Aaron. Where were they? In the land of Egypt, in the land of our ancestors' captivity, in the land of slavery, in the land of oppression, in the land of so-called Pharaoh, in the land of the soothsayers and magicians, in the land of dung beetle gods, in the land of goony goo goo gods, in the land of crocodile and reptilian gods, in the land where people worship slugs and snails. They worship swamp rats and shite beetles. In the land where they ate all manner of swine's flesh, all manner of crustaceans, all manner of all manner of wicked and nasty witches brew, frog eyeballs and squirrel brains and possum bottoms and all manner of wickedness. That's where our people was. Where the people didn't know who a he is and a she and carrying on. All manner of animalistic behaviors and beast behaviors that ought not be done among the people. That's where his people were. In the land of Egypt, where they swore that they would continue to wreak havoc and put pressure on us as our adversary, demanding that the tally of bricks do not diminish, even though they forced us to make bricks and at the same time have to gather our own straw to make the brick. They were heavy-handed taskmasters that took our freedom from the time the sun came up, until every day the sun went down. Yonder we are in captivity, where we are beaten, where we are raped and we are killed, where we are destroyed and where we cry out to our Abba. And this happened in the land of Egypt, the most powerful nation in the world, the land of Egypt, the world's superpower, the land of Egypt. Why the empire that the Pharaoh set himself on the throne to be a god to the rest of the world. And in the midst of Egypt, Moray, don't do that out here. Look, if y'all rolling with the Moray, put a hallelujah 100,000. I'm trying to get you to see Egypt. Can you see it yet? Egypt, where our people have been relegated to ghettos and slums, where we have been reduced to chattel slavery, where we are looked at not as first-class citizens or second-class citizens, but low-class or no-class citizens. Egypt. And yet, in the midst of Egypt, in the midst of our captivity, yonder come a word from Yah. That's all I'm saying. I gotta go. What time is it? I said, yonder come a word from Yah. We don't care nothing about what Pharaoh got to say. We don't care nothing about what no magicians got to say, no soothsayers, no Chaldeans, no sorcerers, no witches, no warlocks, no preachers and no pastors, no deacons. We don't care nothing about what grandmama and them said. We don't care nothing about what nobody bowing down to white Caesar Borgia images say. We not bowing down to no goony gods, goony goo goo god faces. We don't care nothing about none of that. In the midst of all this wickedness, Yah speaks. To who, Moray? He speaks to Moses and Aaron. Well, who are they? That's my cousin. They from my daddy's brothers. They're one of my daddy's brother's kids. In the land of Egypt. And this is what he said. Now, all you Israelites, you listen to the Moray, especially you of the wicked and remnant. This month, man, I don't know what's going on with you Israelites. The Most High said this month, and then y'all say, nah, we're going to do it some other month. Don't go to hell being stupid. Don't go to hell holding on to a conviction that a white man gave you. Don't go to hell listening to some camper. Don't go to hell talking about it don't really matter. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, but they're also destroyed for being stiff-necked and rebellious. You ain't gotta be no rocket science to read the word this month. If you still rolling with the Moray and you're not too upset with the Moray for showing you what my cousin wrote thousands of years ago, put a 100,000 in the chat. I'm showing you what Yahuwah said to Moses. He said this month. Which month? This one, Abib. about this month all through the Bible. Abib, the first month. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. How is it the end of months? How some of y'all saying this is the middle of the month? How y'all saying that this is the halfway point? What is wrong with you Israelites? You can't read the Bible. And you're gonna get mad at me for reading it. How you know that this is a bib? Nigga, because it's a bib. How about that? You stiff-necked, unbelieving Israelites. You always resist the prophets that have been sent to you. You always do it. You always resist truth. You always resist when Abba Yah is trying to help you. You got a tendency to always want to run to somebody that's trying to hurt you. All you got to do is go to this month. That's it. You got to just, simple thing. When is Abib? So easy today, you can Google it. You can ask anybody. You can pull up any calendar and say, this is Abib. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first. Am I straightening this out to the whole world? If the Moreh is straightening this out, clear as crystal clear and as clear as day, put a 500,000. I can't stay out here all night. Put a 500,000. If I'm reading it slow and crystal clear, it shall be the first month of the year to you. I don't care what it is to everybody else. I don't give a damn about Gregorian nothing. I don't care about nothing. That's some Europeans talking about what time it is and what year it is and when the first month of the year. Don't come talking to me about what no heathen said about the first month of the year. I don't care about none of that because I don't follow nobody else in the world. I follow Yah. I'm his child. And he said, this is the first month of the year to you, which that means to me. And if you're in the remnant, it means to you. Now, if you on the fringes, or if you out here worshiping the devil, or you following some man's doctrine, it may not be the first for you. And guess what? Have at it, because I done told you 1,000 times. I ain't going with you because I ain't going to hell for you. Moreh, don't you feel bad for the people that's going on different days and different months? You should just worship with them so that they won't feel so bad. I can't go to hell with you. I done told y'all that. I can't do it. I ain't built that way. I'm built more like a go to heaven type of guy. I'm built more like a seat at the banquet table type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like I fit better on gold streets and drinking out of crystal fountains and worshiping Abba Yah day and night. I just feel better. And you know, when I walk up to the gate, it's all one pearl, and then it's a gate with my name on it. You know what I'm saying? That fits me better. Rather than going into hell. See, I don't fit in hell. Like, go to hell and then be hot and burning and on fire. Y'all saw I couldn't hardly stand it in Arizona, and they told me it ain't even got hot yet. I said, if it ain't got hot yet, and this is just a very small taste of a young hell, then I already know I don't fit there. I can't go. I'm out of place in a lake of fire. I'm out of place with the demons of damnation. I'm out of place. I can't do it. I can't go where it's dark just all the time. I can't go where it's just weeping and gnashing of teeth. I can't go where the man died, but the man don't die. Where the worms continue to eat you, even though you're alive. I can't go. I can't. That's for the false prophets. That's for the devil. That's for the beast. That's for the dragon. I can't go. So no, I can't go with you. I can't. You going to hell and I'm going to heaven. You're going to the bottomless pit. I'm going to the kingdom. I'm on my way to Canaan land. Now, I hope you all understood that crystal clear, that you don't have a more that's willing to go to hell for you. Can't do it. Won't do it. It don't fit me. No. Sure, ain't gonna be no taking places with y'all. Okay, let's just go along to get along. That's y'all. Because when I read this, he said, to you. And that meant to me. So I got one job, find Abib. Found it. I got one job, count to 10. Found it. Then count to 14. Found it. Count to 15. Found it. Then once you get to count 8, oh, I can do that. Now 7 times 7, oh, I can do that too. And it may not be for everybody. So don't come in this chat arguing and fussing. If this ain't for you, then it ain't for you. This is for me. When he wrote this, I read it for myself. I said, this is for me. Abib is the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Hallelujah. Y'all still rolling with the more. Matter of fact, if you agree with the more, don't be ashamed. Let the whole world know. If you agree with the more, put a 200,000 in this chat. Let's keep going. Speak, verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying what? In the 10th day, again, Moray, you see it, of this month, they shall take. Ooh, I didn't mean to get. Oh my. Oh boy, y'all have to excuse the Moray. Every now and then, dust be flying in my eye. Y'all just forgive me, a little dust out here. That's why I shouldn't be coming out these old dusty roads. And in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. Write that in the chat for me, please. A lamb for a house. If y'all have seen that line with new eyes just now, a lamb for a house, would you be so kind as to write that in the chat for me, please? A lamb for a house? Every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let his neighbor and his next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb, listen to the text, y'all, with these new eyes that you got now. Your lamb shall be without blemish. I know some of y'all mind is already running like, oh boy, wow, whoa, this is really in the Bible. And let me tell you something, you sneak listening. I'm gonna tell you, all you sneak listeners, I know y'all be wanting to put numbers and say hallelujah and all that, but you can't. You holding back, you're afraid. Bosses looking over your shoulder. You working for the governments and all that. Let me tell you something about this lamb right here. According to the Holy Bible, our lamb shall be without blemish. Our lamb don't have no problem. Our lamb don't have no sin. Our lamb don't have no, he is not dysfunctional. Our lamb is altogether lovely. Our lamb has been set apart. From what, Moray? From birth. Prove it. Okay. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the what? First year. Which means, hear the Moray, that last year, around this time, this lamb was born. And this lamb was then examined at birth. And while there may be sheep and goats, you were to look for a lamb. And at birth, this one lamb would stand out among all the other sheep and goats. It'd be something about this lamb that everybody that's looking could see it. It's perfect. There's no spots. There's no blemishes. Read it. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year, and you shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. They've been watching the lamb ever since birth. And now the lamb is finally separated. Whether the lamb was hanging out with the goats or what's coming from the goats or whether it come from the sheep, now that lamb is separated from all other lamb. And what is it separated for? Why is it set apart from all the other lambs? Read verse 6, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. No, yeah, it's Bible. That's what choked me up earlier today. I was thinking about that. I have a question. What did that lamb do to deserve to be killed by the congregation of Israel? What did it do? What was his fault? Why? Of all the lambs, why that one? The only thing that caused this lamb's death among the children of Israel was that it was born perfect. And it didn't have a spot or blemish. That's why it was selected. It was not deformed. It was not diseased. It was not blind. It was not halt or maimed. Perfect from birth. And then a year later, on the 10th day of Abib, it's checked again. And as this lamb is examined, it's still perfect. And it is at this time that it is separated from the herd for the purpose of shedding blood on behalf of the house of Israel. Watch, that's in captivity. That is in Egypt. That is in the land of their captors. And the lamb is slain, and the blood of the lamb is gathered into a basin, and then it is applied to the door of the house, the doorpost of the house. And there's a word about the death angel coming. And why is this death angel coming? Everybody is afraid of the death angel. I get it. But let me explain to you about this death angel. The death angel was coming to kill the Egyptians that held us in captivity. The death angel was not coming to kill Israel. The death angel was not coming to kill the Israelites. The death angel was coming to kill the people that held us in captivity. The death angel was coming to destroy those that had destroyed us. He was coming in order to set us free from captivity and to deliver us into the Holy Land, the promised land. And therefore, the examination of the lamb is important, and the separation of the lamb is important. His birth, he was perfect. When the examination comes, he's perfect. So perfect that out of all of the other sheep, that one is chosen to have his blood put on the doorpost. Now I want you to understand something. This is going to bother a lot of y'all, but you better listen to the more. What time is it? It's going to bother some of y'all. No, it's going to bother a lot of y'all. But you better let this really, really, really get into your spirit. Verse 7 says, and I take the blood, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorpost of the house, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat it, and they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire, unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs shall they eat it. Eat it not. Eat of it not raw, nor sodden, that means boiled in water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, with the puritance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it in the morning shall be burned with fire. And thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, with your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Passover. What? The lamb is the Passover. What do you mean, Moray? Listen. Verse 12. I want the whole world to hear this. Matter of fact, put a 12 in the chat. Let's let the whole world see this. Put a 12 in the chat. You saw the thumbnail, so you already know where the Moray's going, hopefully. Y'all been with me long enough. Put a 12 in the chat. This for verse 12. Listen. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night. What? No. Moray, I thought they kept talking about the death angel, the death angel, the death angel. Read the Bible, and you're going to find out who that death angel is. If you can understand who that death, quote unquote, death angel is, by reading the verse that I just read to you, don't be ashamed. Write in the chat who the death angel is. Write it. Don't be ashamed. Write down who said he's coming to Egypt to smite. You better believe it. Yahuwah. Oh yeah, they ain't gonna teach you this in no Christian church. They ain't gonna teach you this in no vacation Bible school when they getting ready to eat Easter eggs tomorrow or in a couple of days. You know they going to hell, I keep telling you. They have replaced what I'm teaching you, which is the Holy Bible, with them damn egg and bunny rabbits and pigs and swine and all manner of wicked idolatry. That's why they're not teaching this. This was Egypt's fear. This was the fear. Who? Yahushua. Yahuwah. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will kill, smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt, I, 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 I will execute judgment. I am Yahrahn. If you saw that crystal clear, put a 700,000 in this chat, please. Oh, yes. He said, I'm doing it. Highlight that in your Bible. That was the fear of Egypt. That should not have been the fear of Israel. That should not have been a fear in Israel. That should have been a fear in Egypt. That should not have been a fear among the remnant. That should have been a fear among them Hamites who enslaved us. Why? Because he told us how we would be protected and how they would be exposed. Why, he said, put that lamb's blood on the doorpost. And the blood shall be to you for a token. A what, Marie? A token, a sign upon the houses where you are. And what about it? When I see the blood, when I see the blood of my own lamb, when I see the blood of the innocent, when I see the blood of the one that I made perfect, when I see the blood of the one that I separated from everybody else in the world, when I see that blood, upon your house, when that blood has been applied the way I told you to apply it, when I'm coming into Egypt to do some killing, everywhere I see that blood applied the way I said, I'm going to pass over it. Why? They obeyed. Why? They heard my word. Why are you going to pass over it? Because they obeyed. Because they sacrificed a lamb. And it was the most precious and most beautiful lamb that they had. It was the best of the best. They gave it in obedience to me. And the blood was put on the doorpost. And it represented the blood of the covenant that their grandpa Abraham went in with me. And because Abraham could not keep his side of the covenant 100%, I put Abraham to sleep and I walked through the covenant, the cut pieces. I walked through the pieces with myself. And when I see that blood, I'm going to remember my part of the covenant and how I was willing to die for the house of Israel. One lamb for one house. Perfect lamb for my perfect house. A chosen lamb for a chosen house. The blood will be a reminder. of how their blood was shed. But of course, I mean, in that captivity, that the blood would also be a greater reminder of what, Murray? Of how the blood of the Lamb of Yah will satisfy the covenant requirement for the salvation of his remnant. And that blood will be their protection. Watch. When I come down to kill the heathens who held them in captivity. You understand that? You heathens? You understand that? You slumber brews? You understand that? You Japhites and you Hamites? You understand that all over the world where you scattered us and put us into the land of our captivities? Do you understand that Yah himself is the one executing judgment on those who dare lay their hands on us? Do you understand that? I think you do. I think you bad. I think you do know that. But I think you bad. I think you untouchable. You think because you can still breathe a little oxygen, you kind of way, some kind of weird way, think you have escaped the judgment. I got news for you. When we woke up to the truth of who we are and whose we are, we said, the hell with these damn bunnies and eggs. Y'all can have it. You was fooling us all this time. Had our women putting on hats looking like Cat in the Hat. Looking like they had rolled off of some type of comedy show. Had our people dressing up looking like clowns. And these pastors looking like ecclesiastical clowns. Putting on a circus. Having our poor children eating swine flesh. Stinking pig-filled marshmallows. Boiled eggs. Had our people operating in all manner of wickedness. You thought that that we were never gonna wake up to the fact that we have an Elohim who sit high and look low, that we're called by his name. You thought we was never gonna tie the two together. That this so-called Christmas, Easter, and all this paganism was to keep us separated from our true heritage and what these feast days really mean. Because I found something out about you heathens. You didn't want us to focus on this lamb. You heathens wanted us to look at a bunny, a rabbit, an unclean beast. You want us to look at a pig, swine, pork ass, pork butt, whatever you call it. That's what you wanted. Chitlins and shrimps and lobsters and all kind of pots of abomination. You wanted to keep our focus there. You wasn't ready for us to wake up to the truth. You wasn't ready for us to realize that we're the house of Yah. And it's not no damn swine. We got a lamb that has been set apart from birth. And that lamb was set apart and examined. And every time that lamb was examined, the same results. Why, I don't find nothing wrong with it. And the night in which it came time for Miriam to be delivered, why, according to the Holy Bible, shepherds were abiding. Why? Yes, while the shepherds were abiding in the fields by night. And Yah, while dispatched angels who while sat upon terrestrial and celestial choir stands, reaching in earth and heaven, singing and shouting, Shalom to the house of Israel, and Tov to all men. And the shepherd said, hold on now. We got to get up. Maury, don't do it. Oh, yes. I got to talk about this lamb for a second. These shepherds said, let's go get up now. Let's go see this thing. Let's go lay eyes on the lamb. Yeah. Let's make sure that birth is perfect. Let us examine it. We shepherds, we know what to look for. We know how to look at the sheep. We know how to look for every spot, wrinkle, blemish. We find nothing wrong with it. Yes, he's altogether lovely. So what did they say? Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Which means what? All praise to the Most High Yah. We love you, we see you, we follow you, and we shall obey you. Our lamb was what? Examined at birth. 12 years later, yonder he is. Where? In the temple. Doing what? Being examined. Pharisees and scribes, so-called rabbis, asking him questions in the Torah. He answered every one of them. 12 years old. And then he started asking them questions about the Torah. They shocked. What's wrong, y'all? Cat got your tongue? Say, I'm not with this boy right here. He's different. Oh, yeah. And then when he was around 29, he was examined again. But this time he was led into the wilderness by the Ruah to be tested by Hasatan, the devil, that old dragon himself. And after 40 days and 40 nights with no food and water, the devil told him, turn these stones into bread. Ain't you hungry? He said, first of all, nigga, listen, you don't tell me a damn thing. You're going to hell, Satan. You understand that? Man does not live by physical bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah does a man live. That bread, those stones were made to be stones for a reason. Ain't no bread shortage in Israel. Just because I'm hungry don't mean that Yah stopped making bread. I chose to fast. I chose to follow the Ruach. I chose to not eat up here. This was my choice. I'm the one set apart for the Most High Yah. I'm the one set apart at birth. I'm the one examined at 8 days old. I'm the one examined at 12 years old. And now I'm being examined again. Why? I'm now of grown age. If you think you can get me over some bread, you crazy. And if you think you can get me trying to make me think that you would want me to jump off a cliff so I can fall down, And a miracle will happen that'll catch me. No, I'm not doing that either. And you took me to the top of the temple and showed me the world and said you will give me all the kingdom of the world if I bow down to you. You better get on away from around me, Satan. Shall worship Yahuwah your Elohim, and only him shall you serve. And why? Woo-wee. When he came down from the mountain, proving that which Yahrahn had prophesied. Behold, the Lamb, there he is, of Yah, that take away the sin of the world. That's the one that's going to save Israel. And that's the one that's going to kill his enemies. That's the one that's going to die on behalf of his remnant. And that's the one, after he is killed on the crossbeam, is going to rise again and kill those who killed him. That's him right there. That's the one the prophet's been talking about. That's the one that's going to liberate the house of Israel once and for all. That's going to gather the scattered. That's him. That's the one that's going to pay the cost. That's the one that's going to buy his own bride back. That's the one. Right there. Zion, I'm looking at my time. I realize I'm over already. But if you're still rolling with the Moreh, put an 800,000 in the chat. Because according to the Bible, around this day, over 2,000 years ago, our king was separated from the crowd, examined by who? Sadducees. Examined by the Pharisees. Examined by the Herodians. Examined. So much so that he said, which one of y'all find fault in me? Which one of y'all can accuse me of sin? Just name one. Just name one sin that I've done. He wasn't talking to his friends when he said that. He was talking to his enemies when he said that. He told his enemies, show me one sin that I've done. That's why I don't give 2 cents for these lying campers. I don't give 2 cents for these lying preachers and pastors. I could care less about all these lying churches, these Hamites, these so-called Muslim, Buddhists, whoever you are. You cannot put no human on trial and that human stand before his enemies and say, show me one time when I have sinned. Not one person ever breathing oxygen could say that except for Yehoshua HaMashiach, my king. Even King David, according to the Holy Bible, if you ask him, David, did you ever sin? He said, man, I was born in sin. I was shapen in iniquity. What are you talking about? Didn't you read the Bible? I got things on my jacket I ain't proud of. And yet I was the greatest king Israel ever had. I can't ask my enemies which one of you accuses me of sin. All right, next. Solomon said, come on now, you already know. I had 999 women too many. And I still never found the right one. And why they turned my heart against the Most High Yah. You talking about asking my enemies, have I sinned? Who else you gonna put on the stand? You gonna put Isaiah on the stand? Isaiah couldn't take. Isaiah said, let me tell you something. I'm an unclean man, and I dwell among unclean people. I'm a cusser. I got a bad mouth. I got unclean lips, and I live among folk with unclean lips. So now he can't stand there neither. Jeremiah said, now you can't put me up here talking about which one of y'all accused me of sin, because I flat out quit. I quit. I got called at a young age. And when I kept doing this and I didn't find that I could have no peace, I quit. And I said, I'm never speaking another word in the name of Yahuwah. I told Yah that he seduced me. I told Yah he fooled me. I told Yah he took advantage of me. He knew that I didn't know how ignorant and stiff-necked and evil these Negroes was he was sending me to preach to. He knew that when he called me. He called me anyway, and I went. So I quit. So no, you can't ask me. I was in the pit and quit. But the word, it was the word unto me. His word, but his word unto me. This what Jeremiah said. It was like fire. Shut up. Well, in my bones. You can't take nobody and put them on that stand in front of the whole world and declare which one of you can accuse me of sin, and not one person can come up with one thing. They finally had to confess. They said, we don't accuse you of sin. Why? Because it ain't none. The only thing we can accuse you of is saying as a man that you Yahuwah. And he said, and you better believe it, and I ain't taking it back. Before Abraham was, I am. Now, how about that? Put that in your Pharisaical pipe and smoke it. Who you think you talking to? He was examined by his enemies. And then he was examined in court. And they had to lie on him all night long. And then he was carried to a heathen, dog-faced, Gentile heathen named Pilate, who then examined him and then examined him again and examined him again. Did you read the record? He knew, according to the Bible, that they brought him into court because of jealousy. It had nothing to do with him doing wrong. You better read it. What is that, Moray? Why are you bringing all these illustrations? I'm trying to tell you why. This is our Lamb of deliverance. This is the one symbolism. This is the fulfillment of the symbolism of the set-apart Lamb. The 10-day examination process that culminated in the 14th day being slain. This is the picture. The real person is Hamashiach for the purpose of delivering his remnant from captivity. That's what it's about. And can see him now, innocent. But they still beat him. 100% altogether lovely. And they still platted a crown of thorns and pressed it into his skull until drops of blood mingled with sweat fell on the ground and made small sweat and blood mud puddles for your sin and mine. Yonder he is, dying for you, dying for me, being persecuted, talked about, hairs of his beard pulled out, his back laid open, plowed like a plowed open field by a cat of nine tails, whipped by these heathen Roman dog thugs. Same people, same children today that whip us in these streets and in these marketplaces and in these countries and in these ghettos. Yonder he is, hanging between heaven and earth. Yonder he is, between the terrestrial and the celestial. Yonder he is, suspended. Yonder he is, between two thieves. There he is, fulfilling the covenant, and yet at the same time asking out by Yah for the forgiveness of those who don't realize what they were doing, and giving last right opportunities to thieves on the right, and giving them invitations to paradise. And the blood came streaming down. That set apart lamb, that beautiful lamb, that precious lamb, that lamb that's altogether lovely, the lamb without spot, the lamb without wrinkle, the lamb separated according to the Bible from the foundation of the world. The lamb, the same lamb that was slain in Eden for Adam and Chua. Once again, slain on Mount Moriah to deliver Abraham and Isaac. Same lamb that John said, behold the lamb of Yah that take away the sin of the world. And yonder he is bleeding on our behalf and dying to ratify the covenant, shedding his blood, listen, so that when he comes to judge the world, he is justified in saving the remnant and killing everybody else. Why? Because everybody else killed him. He's justified in his judgment. And according to the Bible, they're going to look on him in whom they have pierced. And they will weep and they will mourn. If you still rolling with the Moreh, put a 900,000. And we're going to get out of here. Go to Peter. 1 Peter. Y'all ready? 1 Peter chapter 1. Just go for, because of the, you should read the whole chapter, but just for emphasis, let's just start at 18. For as much as you know that you, who? You, me and you, were not redeemed, bought back, purchased with corruptible things as silver. Yeah, we got sold into captivity, but we wasn't redeemed with no silver. We still in the land of our captives today. Haven't nobody bought us out. Ain't nobody redeemed us with no gold. From your vain conversation, received by the traditions from your fathers. So how were we redeemed then? Verse 19. But with the precious blood of Hamashiach, as the lamb without blemish and without spot, fulfilling Exodus chapter 12, verse 5 to the letter. Who verily or truly was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times, that may be made visible, brought to the light for you. Who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in Yah. Do you see it? Whew-wee. It's too much. I'm gonna finish this out. I'm gonna finish this one out. Seeing that you have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Ruach unto unfeigned love of the brethren. See that you love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again. Being what? Being born again. That's who we are. That's what the remnant is. How, Moray? Well, I tell you how not. Not of corruptible seed. You, Joseph is the daddy. Y'all going to hell for that. I keep telling you, you better stop that. Not of corruptible seed. All of the seed of man is corrupted. If Hamashiach is of the seed of Yosef, then he's also corrupted. He would have to say like David, I was born in sin and shapen in iniquity. But we were born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible. By who? By the word of Yah, which liveth and abide forever. Moray, I can hear y'all talking, but Moray, you was talking about the empire's greatest fear. I ain't forgot. Y'all think I forgot my lesson? No. What's their greatest fear? That this same lamb that they crucified. This same lamb that they killed, this same lamb that they tried to destroy, and the remnant of this lamb, their greatest fear is that this same lamb, Yahushua HaMashiach, our Passover lamb, their greatest fear first was that he was going to get up from the dead. Pilate was so scared when he heard about the resurrection of the dead, he ordered a garrison. He ordered a band of soldiers, could have been hundreds of them, to guard a dead man's tomb. Can you believe that? Who puts a guard around a dead man's grave? Somebody who's scared to death of that man coming back and killing him for making that decision. Revelation chapter 6. Now you're going to see our lamb with brand new eyes. Now you're going to understand this feast day all. You're like, ooh, oh boy, I can see it now. This is starting to make sense to me now. What is? Revelation 6. The way white people taught it, it didn't make no sense. You taught that white, sweet, sweet white Jesus was coming back to save the world. Then why is everybody running? Why is this a problem? If sweet white Caesar Borgia images is coming back, this should be the happiest chapter in the Bible, right? Is what y'all looking for? Is what you waiting for? You know better than that. You know that that dark brown Hebrew Israelite with woolly hair and fiery eyes is on his way back with judgment on his mind to kill everyone that held us captive, and you know it. You the Pharaoh. You the Egypt. You know it. You the Babylon. You the mystery Babylon. You the whore of Revelation, and you know it. You the evil empire that held us in captivity and took us into the depths of hell and tormented our ancestors for hundreds and thousands of years, and you know it. And that's why you tried to keep us away from our lamb. That's why you tried to shove bunnies in our face and eggs and all manner of rabbits and fowl. And that's why you tried to get us preoccupied with pig and swine and roaches and sea roaches and all manner of wickedness. That's why you did it. You wasn't ready for no more to be called up out of the country in these latter days. Not just me, but I'm one of them. To help deliver our people from this wickedness. Let's read about y'all in Revelation chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, you heathens, you better listen to me, you slumber bruised. Oh, yes. And I know you want to click off, but you can't. You got to see what the end is going to be. Why? Because the Most High wants you to see it. So there'll be no excuse when you stand in the judgment. And when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahuwah and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice. What were they saying? How long, O Yahuwah, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood upon them that dwell on the earth? How long? You just don't let us keep getting killed, keep getting killed, keep getting killed. We're preaching, we're teaching, we're trying to help the world, and they steady killing us and beating us and robbing and stealing and plundering. How long? And you see the question mark. And we are not given a definite time, but we are given the fact that white robes, I gotta get out here now. And, and white robes were given unto every one of them. Every one of them. Yeah, he didn't miss one. He haven't missed you. He hears your prayers. He hears your call. You in the remnant. He sees you. He's got a robe for you with your name on it. It fits you well. It's perfect. Just know that. And white robes were given to every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest for a little season until their fellow servants, that's us, and their brethren, that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. That's the fifth seal. And the question is, were we? Yes. Were we slaughtered like they were? Yes. Were we hung by trees like them? Yes. Were we burnt like them? Yes. Were we crucified like they were? Yes. Were we whipped and beaten? Yes. Were we enslaved for hundreds and hundreds of years? Yes. Were we abused constantly? Yes. Was our last name taken away from us? Yes. Was our home? Yes. Was our silver? Yes. Was our gold? Yes. Was our authority? Yes. Was our right to rule our own houses and homes taken from us? Yes. Was the name of Yahuwah taken from us? Yes. Yahoshua, was it taken? Yes. Was it replaced by these heathens, dirty, nasty substitutes? Yes. And did many of us, even in the remnant to this very day, suffering as a result of his name? Yes. But you got a robe coming. And let me tell you what else you got coming. You have a kinsman redeemer. Now let's get to the end of my lesson. And I want everybody in the world to hear this. So I'm going to read it like it's supposed to be read. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, you heathens. This is that seal that y'all don't want to talk about. This is that seal that you're trying to keep us away from. So our people don't know about it. You're trying to make our people, the remnant, afraid of the sixth seal, and it's about you, and you know it. Let's read it. When he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. Oh, what? Oh, yes. That's why they measuring every earthquake that happened here. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. Oh, boy. What? Yes. And the moon became as blood. Can you imagine looking up at the moon and it's the color of blood? And what have we been seeing lately in the sky? More and more often, these heathens even name that moon a blood moon. Y'all know what's coming. And the kings of the earth, yes. And the great men, oh yes. There's always men behind the kings. All leaders are puppets. There's a puppet master back there somewhere pulling strings. You too. And the rich men, fascism, the wealthy, the powerful, and the chief captains, all this great military might. See, y'all got all that. The remnant, we ain't got none of this. And the mighty men. And watch this. And all the bondmen. What is that? The slaves, the people in bonds. The people that are being held right now in captivity, they just don't know it. They're in captivity now, but just without shackles and fetters, literally on their throat and on their wrist, but spiritually, emotionally, and mentally slaves to the beast. And every free man, what they do, hid themselves. No, Moray. Oh, yeah. And that sixth seal, they hid themselves. They start looking for places to hide. You don't hide unless you're scared. You don't hide unless you're afraid. You're hiding. You're a king looking for a place to hide. You're a mighty man looking for a place to hide. You're a great man looking for a place to hide. You're a great captain looking for a place to hide. Mighty man looking for a place to hide. Every bondman and every free man hid themselves where? In the dens. In what? They done ran into the dens with the lions. They done ran into dens and caved with the wild animals. They done ran into the places where the bears hide. They done ran into these bunkers. Everybody building something under the ground to hide. Now they trying to build bunkers up in the sky. Now they trying to build a bunker on another planet. Oh yes. I know what you heathens fear. And I'm gonna tell the world. Why? I'm a seer. They hid in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Which means they went into mountains that are solid rock and begin to drill. But in that sixth seal, you ready? And said to the mountain and rock, fall on us. What do you mean? You the most powerful man in the world. Fall on us. Kill us. Fall on us. Who? The presidents? The king? The captains? The pilots? The beast? The slumber bruise? You mean tell me everybody is scared and would rather choose death by crushing? Fall on us and hide us from the face, it's in the Bible, of him that sits on the throne. How did they know he's sitting on the throne? Because they know he's been resurrected and sitting at the right hand of power. They know it. They read the book. They took the record. Now, y'all might not believe it's in the Bible, and I know YouTube is going to put it in here backwards. But do you see where it says, and from the wrath of the Lamb? When that lamb got set apart in Egypt on that 10th day and was examined and was perfect, that marked the end of Egypt. And when Hamashiach got set apart at his birth and was examined by all the heathens and including his enemies, it represented the end of this wicked empire. And the one thing that this empire knows is that there is a lamb that's sitting on the throne that they don't want to see. They would rather die by crushing than to face the one that they have stood against, that they have blasphemed, that they have usurped his authority, and that they have robbed and killed and slain his citizens. Why? I mean, his children. Why? Because according to the Torah, whatever this wicked nation did to us, whoever did it, double must be done to them. And they would rather die the death of crushing than to have to suffer double what they did to us. But let me tell these heathens something. It ain't gonna work. Because he preserved and reserved special judgment for you for putting your hand on the apple of his eye. And that's why this world is being drugged right now into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Who you think doing that? The Lamb is doing it. That's why the battleships is rolling. That's why they're heading to their own demise. That's why the blood is going to rise up to the horse's bridle. Why? Because what you did to us. That's the Lamb doing it. Murray, you just talking. Okay. That's fine. Say what you want. Revelation 13. Talks about and all that dwelled upon the earth shall worship him whose names were not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. What does that mean? That means there's going to be a lot of people who didn't follow Hamashiach and they're not in his book. We have a Lamb. He that leadeth. He, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Let me make sure these heathens know that what I'm talking is all scripts. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience of the saints. We gotta wait on Yah. Take this time and pull our attention away to some Tammuz and Semiramis and eggs and oh, I'm gonna wait on him now. Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna wait on my king. Chapter 14 of Revelation, chapter 1. And I looked, and, comma, lo, comma, a lamb stood. Where? On the Mount Zion. And with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their forehead. That's your fear. That's why you be tracking our channels and messing with our transmissions and doing all manner of wickedness. Is that one of them? Is that one of them? You scared to death, huh? That we waking up to the truth of who we are and whose we are. Oh, yes. Is that it, Murray? Nah, I think I got another one. You heathens done bothered me. I wanna go further. Revelation 19. Come on, go with the more, Ray. Revelation 19, verse 6, and I heard as it were the voice of a great multitude, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of many thundering, saying, Hallelujah! For Yahuwah Elohim omnipotent reign. Taken straight out of the book of Ezekiel. Let us be glad and rejoice. Give honor to him for the marriage. Did you see it? For the marriage of the Lamb is come. And his wife hath made herself ready. Watch how we hook this up. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saint. Ain't that what we just read in Revelation chapter 6? You mean to tell me the promise he gave them when it says in verse 11, and white robes were given unto every one of them? You mean it actually happened? Yes, in chapter 19. And now you know what the robe represents. The robe, the white linen robe, represents the righteousness of the saints who made herself ready. And he said unto me, right, blessed are they which are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of Elohim. And I fell to worship him, fell at his feet to worship him. He said unto me, see that you do it not? I'm your fellow servant. And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, worship Yah, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. You hear that, you heathens? And I saw the heavens open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he judged and make war. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is the word of Yah. That's what this heathen's afraid of. That war, that white horse rider that's coming to make war. Saving his remnant, which represent his wife, clothing us in righteousness, which was given to us through the Torah, saving us and delivering us and killing the enemy who put us in captivity. That's how it is, brother, sister. That's what this day is about. That 10th day. Set apart that lamb in your life. Set apart that lamb in your heart. Set apart that lamb for your family. Set apart that lamb. Forget these heathens and all this wickedness that they getting ready to get involved in. You talk to your people about the lamb. Why, that lamb that showed up in Genesis. You got to tell your people, that lamb showed up in Exodus. Tell them, that lamb ain't no new concept. That lamb was in Leviticus. Where we going with that? I read about that lamb in Numbers. That lamb is in Deuteronomy. Why, that set apart lamb is in Joshua. I saw him. He called himself the captain of Yahuwah's army. That lamb was in Judges. That lamb was in Ruth. Oh, how you know? Kinsman Redeemer. That lamb was in Samuel. That lamb was in Kings. Yeah, that lamb been all through the whole Bible. It was set apart for us. to examine and to accept the word of Yah to be consumed in his blood, the covenant relationship that we have applied to our life, so that when he comes to exercise judgment upon the heathen, we are covered by him. That's what this thing is about. Toda Rabah for y'all being patient with me as I got a chance to get that whole message out. I just had to share something with you. That's what this world is afraid of. They done painted this weird picture of this little lamb that never grew up, that never was grown, that never exercised judgment. They got a completely bad and terrible picture of our king. They better redo their vision. They better change their glasses. They better read this Bible like it's supposed to be read. Babylon falls. Our king is victorious, and he's called the Lamb, and we're called the Lamb's wife. And we shall be victorious. And our king shall reign. And the blood of the enemies will rise to the horses' bridles. Don't forget our precious lamb, the Lamb of Yah, slain before the foundation of the world. Zion, if these messages helping you, encouraging you, support the ARK through tithes and offerings. We're full-time and we're trying to do everything exactly the way the Bible has called us to do it. It is your support that keeps us studying, reading, teaching, and preaching. Traveling and meeting people and helping to wake up Jacob. And to bring these types of messages that you probably not going to hear nowhere else, or at least not too many places, because it seems like everybody is connected to some type of organization that's keeping them from just being free to teach the Bible like it's supposed to be taught. But here at the Awakening Remnant Coalition, we're full-time in the ministry, and we're free to teach it the way it's written because of support and people who love us like you. This time of year, our focus is on the Lamb. Let us prepare our hearts for Passover. We'll be coming with some Passover messages too, and unleavened bread and first fruit. All that's coming. And I pray that this year will be special for all of us. We don't know this, but this could be the last one. The way the pieces of the puzzle and the way this world seems like everything is amped up, y'all, this might be the grand finale. I don't know. People ask me all the time. I tell them I don't know when, but soon. Just based on the way I see it, it's going to be soon. Support the work of the ARK. Keep us full-time in these last days. Continue to pray for me. I'll pray for you. And understand something. There is a great fear from this empire. They fear the one sitting on the throne and the face of the Lamb. But you and I, we don't have to fear. We do fear him, but we're not fearing the judgment. We're worshiping him because we have allowed his blood to be applied to our life. We have joined him. We have joined the covenant, joined the house of Israel. We are now a part of his protected people. That's what the Passover is about. While he's judging the enemy, those that have the blood of Torah, the blood of the covenant on them, his judgment against the enemy comes and passes over us. That's what this is really all about, and we'll get into that even more. Don't be afraid, y'all. Matter of fact, when it comes to us, you lift up your head. and you look up and keep looking up. For our redemption draws nigh. Shalom.